Everyone's talking about Heated Rivalry, and so are we. We're the Gay Racing Podcast. We don't normally do this kind of thing. We don't normally talk about TV shows, but Zack and I are gay, so that's part of the title of the show.
Tell everybody.
So this works out. Yeah, that's a secret. Sorry, we came out. Hey,
wow, congrats.
All right, Scott Hunter. Jesus.
So this started out as Davin, you apparently reached out to Caleb, and then Caleb reached out to me, and then I asked Zack if he'd be down to do this. So here we are. We're going to talk about Heated Rivalry today because that is my fixation. I haven't been hyper fixated on anything like this since I was a teenager. Like,
that's crazy. I didn't realize you were this into the show until I saw your private account. I'm like, oh my God, he actually loves this show.
I am so into this. Seriously, I don't think I've been into this since I was like a big 21 Pilots fan as an emo teenager. Like it's that crazy, guys.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we're joined by Davin, Drive Through, and Caleb. You may know them from the Shrimp Hours podcast. Maybe not, though.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah, I do not know us from that show.
Our resident hockey experts.
Yeah.
I forgot you two are actually hockey fans.
Yeah, you two watch hockey.
We are dripped out in the. I had the hat, but I didn't want to make it work with the headphones. But listen, we can do it.
All right. So, I mean, that's something we can talk about, how we're the hockey scenes. Well, that's not what anyone's talking about.
So let's talk about the hockey.
We were not seated for the hockey.
I am curious on, like, there's this one scene of the hockey that we'll definitely get into later. You know, like, I've been watching Ford versus Ferrari, like a racing movie, and I'm just like, that's weird.
Auto Club? You don't like Auto Club?
Yeah, Auto Club Speedway is Daytona, like little things like that. I don't know if there's anything that was in the show because I would have never catched it.
Yeah,
and honestly, we could start there actually if you want. Like, just to, like, before we get into all the the little heated gay stuff. Like, what did you guys think about the hockey in the show? And was that a factor in why you watched the show at all? Anyways, like, I'm just curious.
It definitely like got me interested in where I was like, ooh, cool hockey show. I mean, that's kind of Jacob Tierney's like bread and butter. Like he did the two other Canadian hockey comedies before this.
Okay.
It was good. The hockey was genuinely really good. There was less of it than I expected.
I agree.
But I'm definitely okay with that. There's a few moments where it's like, as a like hardcore hockey fan, you're like, this is kind of weird, but it was definitely more like true to the sport than I think even Ford versus Ferrari was. Like they did really well, especially with their like fictionalized league. Like,
yeah,
it was very, very real. It's also such a great like stage for this kind of story. Sorry.
No, I mean, I think there were only like one or two like intricate details where it was like, that's like kind of weird. But like, other than that, like even with like the time frame and everything of it, like it all matched up really well. And it was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, the Olympics are correct. And like the way they work up through the juniors is correct and go to this tournament together and then get drafted. And then like all this stuff, it was really well done. So shout out to Tierney and co.
And they threw in a few little treats for the hockey fans too.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Including a little buffalo dish, which I was a fan of.
See, Zack and I don't know much of anything about hockey. Like, I know barely nothing. That's probably the sport that's not racing that I know like the least about. Like, I know bits about football, baseball.
I loved playing hockey in the Mario and Sonic Winter Olympic Games. That was fire.
Okay, that's big. That's huge.
You're right. I love it.
But I think knowing that it was still like really respectful to the whole genre of hockey, like that's awesome. Like that's something Zack and I would notice, obviously, and you guys too, Davin and Caleb, that if it was a racing thing, like we would obviously catch on to more things like that. But that's good. I love that. And I liked all the hockey scenes, like genuinely. Like, well, since we're starting there, I'll just say I really did like them all. It actually felt real. And I like the whole little broadcast bits that they did. It was good. Mm-hmm. Is the broadcaster they use, is that someone legit? Do we know that?
No.
Or is that just like a voice actor?
No. I mean, I'm sure it's just a voice actor. They don't. I don't know if they have the budget.
Yeah,
for
their
that kind of
budget.
stuff. Maybe
Like
next-
imagine a racing one. They have Lee Diffie out there, and then Lee Diffie's like, "Good for Scott Hunter." Yeah.
I always, you mention that, like the announcers, even when they get the real announcers for like, especially for like video games and stuff, they never really sound like natural.
Yeah.
Even in a movie, they never really sound natural. Like Bill Weber in Talladega Nights, even just like, I don't know, you could tell that he's in a movie reading lines.
Darryl Waltrip
Right.
in Cars, though, that was pretty good.
Darryl Waltrip ate in Cars.
I was gonna say
I can't believe what I'm watching, Bob.
That's like him. That's exactly.
no Lee Diffie in the F1 movie. That was like it was. I got that where it was just like he's just definitely just reading off a fucking script here, where he's just
really?
whatever the fuck Brad Pitt was at the start of the movie when they're doing the IMSA thing, and you're like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Imza, yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm
It was
curious.
definitely real quick.
Yeah.
Just mentioning the F1 movie, it was way more true to hockey than the F1 movie was to Formula One.
Really?
I could spend a whole podcast.
That's
talking about
surprising, actually,
The
considering
F1
like
movie hurt me physically.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it.
I haven't watched
Oh
it either.
shit, you haven't. Oh,
You haven't-
my bad.
oh,
You guys were. I was
sorry.
making references you guys didn't understand. My bad.
No.
Hold on.
No, you're good. You're
It was a
good.
great movie, but some like as a huge lifetime F1 fan, I have qualms. As a lifetime hockey fan, I have like 2 notes, if that, on the entire Heated Rivalry season.
Wow.
Wow.
Like it was so good.
That's great. So I'm curious, how did we all first hear about it, and what was our first impressions
You.
of the very first episode? Me. Okay,
Was it?
one
I don't
vote
know
for
if it-
me.
I don't know if it actually was you, but I mean,
I wouldn't
don't know.
shut up about it. When I got hooked, I'm like,
It was-
Zach, you got to watch this.
It was from the same like audience of like, either you told me first or like I started hearing about it on Twitter, but it was
Yeah.
probably you, honestly.
Okay. Davin or Caleb?
I'm pretty sure I heard about it on Twitter first, where everyone was talking about this gay hockey show, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, that'd be interesting. And then Caleb was like, you need to watch this with me. And I was like, okay.
That's kind of
I'll
what
do that.
happened with like Alex. Like Alex was like, no, girl, you need to watch this soon.
I don't even like. It's crazy, but I don't even remember. Like I feel like I've been watching it for fucking so long now. I don't.
No, for real. Like, it's my life now.
I'm
can't
pretty
remember
sure it
what
was
life
just
was
like
like without it.
Twitter. Yeah, no, I don't remember a pre-Heated Rivalry life of mine, but no, I think I think it was just through Twitter, like hearing about it and then just being like, hockey, gay people, I'm in. Like, let's
Sign
go.
me up. So for me, like sometime in early November, I had heard about it. I saw a tweet that was like, hey, the show Heated Rivalry is coming out. It's based on a book. It's a queer story and it's really, really good. Like, look out for this. It comes out around Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh. So I took note of it. And then right around Thanksgiving is when the first 2 episodes came out. And I watched the first episode with my sister, mind you, because I was like, hey, this is a show. Like, she is really big into it. The Summer I Turned Pretty. So I was like, okay, like that's like the girl version of this. It's straight. You might like this too. Whatever. I didn't know it'd be this sexual. She is 18, mind you. But I was
Thank
just
God.
but I was just like, oh, okay. Like, that's not what I expected. I didn't
It
expect
gets
all
very
this.
heated very fast.
Yeah, it does. And that's not what I expected. And that first like 2 weeks when it was on HBO Max, it was like really dark. Like the brightness was all messed
Apparently.
up.
Really? That's
Yeah.
Apparently the American version, they like messed it up and it was just like not brightened correctly.
Yeah.
And apparently you didn't even have Russian subtitles.
There were
Caleb
no
was like,
subtitles, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
whole
week either.
scene.
So my first impression was like, this is good, but it's really dark. I don't know what's going on, and there's much more sex than I thought. The third one was like, okay, I just got to come back, but like I had to wait until they fixed the brightness and the added subtitles for me to watch beyond episode 1. And I think like a week or so later is when I did that. And episode 2 is what hooked me. And that's what I want to ask next. What hooked everyone onto the show? Because for me, episode 2, it was the stairwell kiss. Because I was like, oh, like, we're not just fuck buddies. We're like, there's a genuine bond here.
No, I have some issues. I watched the first 2 episodes like one day after the other because I missed like when episode 1 came out, and Kel was like, watch this shit. I liked it, but it was not at all what I expected. I don't know. I wanted a cute lovesy story, and then it was just like,
that's what I thought. I thought it was going to be a slow burn at first when I got into frustrated.
It was absolutely not a slow burn. I took notes because the pacing really fucked me up in the first 2 episodes.
That was another thing. The first episode really threw me off, but I got it later.
In episode 1, and 2 years go by before the title screen in episode 2. Like, they're just zipping through this.
Yeah.
And I feel like if these characters see each other like 6 times over these 5 years, I honestly wasn't like that sold on it. Even like the stairwell kiss, like they also like they did. I know this is how actual hockey players are, but they were kind of lifeless. Like Shane, just like it was like play hockey, go home. Ilya was like play hockey, go home.
Well, yeah, but Shane's autistic. Like he was fixated on hockey,
which is true.
Yeah,
but like. I wanted more characters. I wanted people to bounce off each other, and I understand this all plays to the story in the end.
Yeah,
and I like kind of have appreciation for that. But the first 2 episodes, I was like, these dudes are in their own heads all the time, and then they're just like, ooh, we're fucking, ooh, we're not.
I was just like, why am I watching these 2 dudes just hook up?
That's why I was
like, what is the point? But I knew there was going to be a point, and I think that's what kind of hooked me.
I think I even told you, Zach, like the first 2 episodes, like that might be kind of like. You have to get into it, and then it hits at a point. That's why I'm curious where it hit for everyone.
So I was getting a little too into it 15 minutes in, but I had to take a break.
Whoa. I specifically remember because for me, I watched the first 2 episodes on my own, and then I was like, DT, like you have to watch this. So then we went back and watched them together. And I remember after the second episode, like I forget specifically what you said, DT, but I remember specifically being like I'm trusting the process. Like, I don't think it's like fantastic yet, but I think they're like building towards something that's going to be really good. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to like hope for the best. But I mean, for me, I like Ilya and Shane together. I believed it like really early on. I know like I kind of disagreed with DT on that, where I was like, I'm sold. I'm in.
Really?
Now, this is from a gay man's perspective. I really did think that the whole hookup aspect was pretty like real.
Oh,
like
100%.
It was very real.
It was very realistic.
But that's why I mentioned the stairwell kiss. I'm like, oh, like this is going to be like more, like there's definitely more there. But it's just like the hookup stuff. It's just like, you really only get that, I think, if you have lived it. At least that whole aspect. And then you add on the part that they are professional athletes and they become celebrities. And like, yeah, like that's a very difficult thing. Like, think about it in real life. Like if there's an actual athlete out there, 2 athletes who are hooking up like this behind the scenes, of course, it's going to be really difficult to hide that. And then it's like, if you develop feelings, like, oh my God, what do you do with that? And I think the payoff when you get to episode 5 is just like, oh my God, like they were not going to like go all the way in on this relationship. But when you see someone else do it, that's just why I'm so big on representation in anything. Like, oh my God.
The first few episodes, I was getting really frustrated with Ilya because I'm just like, this is just a fuck boy.
He's just
like, that's what I saw him.
And Shane's his little boy toy, and he's just like whatever. He shows no like actual interest.
Davin, you just rewatched today. You said before we started recording.
I jumped through everything. Yeah.
Okay. When you rewatched the first 2 episodes, did you kind of see a relationship building more? Because my first rewatch, I'm like, oh my God, you can like really see the relationship start to build. And I was telling Caleb about this when I was rewatching the first time.
I need to rewatch it then, because like I don't remember seeing that. Maybe I was just too blinded by like this is a hookup and this is like frustrating.
Well, and it was hot. Like I get it.
Yeah.
There's definitely more that I noticed. Like, I guess in my memory going back, like there's more sort of difference between each time they met each other as I rewatch it, and obviously knowing how everything goes, and that like it does kind of build a little bit. But going back to just getting like sold on the show, is in episode 3 when they finally just throw beautiful, wonderful side characters, and it's funny, and there's like the changing of perspective and telling the whole thing from like going back to the Russia interaction from Scott's perspective. I was like, okay, this guy's eating, like we're doing some cool shit. And the storytelling like just like ramped up and only went up from there. And I was like, this is wonderful. I love this. I'm all in.
And I saw there's a lot of people that watched the show that didn't like episode 3, but it gave an entire different perspective.
I thought it was really important.
I really liked the interactions that Scott Hunter had with both Shane and Ilya, because Scott Hunter clearly knows that there's something there. When Ilya goes by and like tells him the room number, and then on the ice he's like, hey, you're starting to sound like him, and that causes the fight. Like I love that. You just get like a whole different perspective of what they have going on. And then I've alluded to episode 5 already, but again, if you don't have episode 3, the payoff of the end of episode 5, when Scott and Kip kiss in front of the whole world like that, it just hits so hard. What do y'all think of that scene? Because I was like, I cried a little bit.
I was getting really excited as it was coming. And like before we get to episode 5, like episode 3, I think is my final answer on like that really hooked me onto the show. Cause I'm like,
gotcha.
Like it kind of presented stakes in a way a little bit. I'm like, what does it actually mean for two famous hockey players to be in love with each other? Right.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm like, I didn't know where Shane and Ilya was going. The Scott and Kip stuff was like, oh, this is going to be the problem. And episode 3 was like showing me what the problems that Ilya and Shane are going to face. Episode 5 kind of showed us the possible, I don't want to say solution, but the resolution to it that we still haven't really gotten at the end of season 1.
That it's possible. That it's just possible that they could be together.
Yes. Like the Scott and Kip stuff is like, it's like a, what's the word? It's the prophecy. This is the gay hockey player prophecy, Scott and Kip. All right. Are you going to fulfill the prophecy? That's the question the show's kind of like presenting to me or to the characters.
Well, I think too, part of what made episode 3 so like compelling for me was that like it took you completely out of the story, like anything with Shane and Ilya, like you only see them in passing that episode. But obviously like the issues that Scott and Kip are working through, it adds dimension to both Shane and Ilya because they're doing the exact same thing. Like they have the exact same problem. You see it through a different lens, but you realize, like, for Shane and for Ilya, being public about, these hookups or like where this relationship is going, can completely, throw Ilya out of his home country, throw Shane, completely where he's getting just ostracized, from the league. So both of these guys are just so completely scared. And again, I think that's where you start to understand, like, again, why they're so kind of withdrawn from each other from a relationship perspective. Cause like neither one of them want to believe it's real. Like they're just so enveloped by the repression of all of it that, again, it makes it hard to be, again, like in an open kind of relationship like that.
Yeah, and Shane goes through the feelings that I went through, I think, when I was like 14 years old. And I forget that like some queer people go through those like denial feelings as like legit like adults. Yeah. Like it kind of catches me off guard a little bit. And I forget like people like don't really get to that phase in their acceptance until they're older.
Well, and I think too, like that's part of why that was believable for me. And again, like goes back to, I think one of the disagreements that DT and I had early, where it's like the pacing didn't bother me at all because I saw it as like, I saw it as a way that the story is telling, like that, again, both Shane and Ilya are making just no emotional progress whatsoever because, they had to make that emotional progress with themselves before they could open it up and actually have a relationship with one another. And yeah, for Shane, I mean, they're 28 by the end of the show. Like they've been together for, on and off for 10 years, and it's taken them that long to unpack each separate part of their identity in a way that they can healthily express love towards each other. And I think like the character development from that aspect was so incredible because like going back and rewatching was like episode 1 Shane is a completely different character than Shane by the end of it, where they're just being completely like playful with one another, and it's a very enjoyable dynamic to watch. And I think part of that buildup made the payoff of episode 5 and 6 just so much better than even just the story by itself.
Yeah, the payoff is unreal. Like getting to know these
so
guys.
good.
And like you said, going back and rewatching the first few episodes, it feels like a completely different world.
Because you know what's coming, and it's like, oh, this is what happened. This is what building block here to get to where we are at the end of the show or season.
It's the perfect length. Like the 6 episode, like 1 hour-ish a piece. Like we really get to know these guys and see them develop. And there's so many moments. And listen, the actors did a fucking incredible job. Like because I know they shot that the hell out of order, and to jump between like the interactions they have at the start versus the end, it's so believable. It's so good. Like,
well, I was like, where did they get this Russian guy to do a gay show? That's what I was like. Whoa, that was really impressive.
So I let Zack finish. I let Zack finish the show before I told him, hey, Connor Story, who plays Ilya, is actually not Russian.
Yeah.
And I was gagged by this.
I was so
because the monologue, the phone call he does in episode 5, that was just like incredible acting. And I was sold that he was actually fluently born Russian. I find out after that episode from Twitter that he's from Texas. Like interviews start coming out of Connor and Hudson. And I'm just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I apparently this show isn't eligible for the Emmys because it's a Canadian show and only American shows can. But if it was eligible, like I think that's deserving of a Emmy. Like seriously, like it was that good of
an actual
and just throughout the whole show even. Yeah.
Sorry. Actual Russian speakers I've seen on Twitter were just like, wait, this guy's not Russian? Like it was fully like believable. And
something that was said in an interview, I think it was Jacob Tierney, said that he asked the dialect coach, like, hey, how much of this can we keep? And she had said all of it from the phone call in episode 5. And I'm just like, that's incredible. Like, that's a long ass phone call that he did. That's a long ass script. And he apparently nailed it. Like, I wouldn't know any better either. But I'm just like, oh my God, like, this is great. The subtitles work. Thank you, HBO, for fixing that in time. But man, it was beautiful. And that scene right there, like that is what made me start rewatching the episodes, because I had watched them all weekly, 1 and 2 when they came out, then 3 and 4. Episode 5, I watched that like 6 times between when 5 and 6 came out. So I'm like, this is just a masterpiece. That whole episode, but specifically that phone call.
Are we still number 1 on IMDb?
It's up there still. I think it got some like homophobes hate rating it, but it still is above a 9 rating for sure.
That is another thing about like this show. Like even just the queer points aside, it was just very well made, even considering the budget. Like the acting, as Davin brought up, the I don't know what to call this, but like the camera work, cinematography, I guess. Like
real.
Like I saw a TikTok of like someone like explaining how they mapped out like the cottage scene with all the, or like some of the apartment scenes with like the reflections in the windows, and like, so cool.
I will say too, I saw another post about it, but I was really blown away too by the costume design that they did. Like for each, I guess, team to have like a unique kit, and I don't know, they look great. Like I never had to suspend disbelief or anything. Like just seeing them, like even in the hockey scenes, they looked like they were hockey players. It looked sick.
Nice. I guess it'd be like in a racing movie, like the paint schemes almost, in a way.
Yeah.
No.
As much as I like, I don't know. It would be hard to make one like as true to racing as these guys did. I again just can't believe how good of a job they did on all fronts. Like I expected it to be like a smutty little like, queer story, really cool. I know it was a tiny budget. I wasn't familiar with Jacob Tierney's work beforehand. And I was blown away. Like each episode, it just keeps getting better. Like it looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. The acting is just like I can't praise it enough.
It feels like I'm there. It just feels so real.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason like this is like a cultural wave now.
Yeah,
I can't believe the legs this show has.
Mind you, it had the budget. People joke it has a budget of like $5. Obviously, it was way more than that. But like, this is one of the best shows I've ever watched. End of discussion. Like, not even just one of the best queer shows, but like just queer just show. Period. It's really remarkable. And when I first got into, like, first heard about it, and then first watched it, like, I had no expectation that's where I would end up thinking. But here I am, and I'm probably gonna rewatch it for a fourth, fifth, sixth, etc. time.
It's genuinely so good that like it is like starting the discussion on like genuinely changing the culture, which is like mind-blowing.
That's
something
awesome.
that hockey has needed forever. But to just like watch the end of episode 5 and to think of like the actual queer hockey players out there seeing that,
right?
That's just like, oh my god, that it makes that hit even harder.
Representation's so important.
Yeah.
Like that, it just really hit me because like I bring it up a lot, Zach. Like what podcast? We're gay. We're into racing. We watch racing. That's big in itself, and just this kind of story for hockey players, because hockey's another sport, kind of like racing, very conservative fan base, where this kind of thing just really hits close to home for a lot of people like us.
And and this is something I've been taking for granted in a way. Like, not that I should ever feel guilty about professional athletes in their lives, because, you know, they're all in all, they have great lives. But if there are any that are in the closet, and there probably are, like, this is what they're going through, even in 2025 or 2026 now. Like, this is still a thing that's happening today. Like, and it's never really like, as much as LGBT pride and acceptance it's come a long way. Why do we still not have a queer person in NASCAR or motorsports in general? Like, not a single I mean, I won't say it, not a single person, but it's like no one that I can name off the top of my head, like that I see on TV. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, getting out of the car and like hugging their boyfriend after the race.
And we can name some, but it's like they're not in the top series.
Right.
People who aren't like a diehard fan, they can't name anyone like that.
I mean, it's kind of like women in racing. Like, there's a bunch of women coming up through the ranks, but like NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar Series, like F1, like you don't see them on TV on Sunday. Like, it's like, you know, when's the sport going to get to that point? But
yeah,
that's, you know, that's a multifaceted issue.
I do have another question for everyone. The coming out scene to Shane's mom in episode 6, I thought that was such a different coming out scene from anything else I've ever seen in queer media, because instead of the mom being like, well, why didn't you tell me or whatever, and like the mom, Yuna, ended up apologizing to Shane, being like, I'm sorry you didn't feel like you could tell this to me. And that is something I don't think I've ever seen in a gay show. And I feel like that's it's just a powerful thing. It really hit me. And I don't want to get too into it. It's a personal thing, but I actually came out to my mom because of that. Like, it inspired me to, because I've been rebuilding a relationship with my mom. And it was just the same kind of impact for me. And I was just like, man, it's really special, you know? So I love that scene. I thought that was really well done. And I wish more gay shows with the coming out scene like that, if you're going to have a coming out scene at all.
Yeah, because it
like,
wasn't
go that route.
It wasn't like, oh, baby, I will love you no matter what. Like, yeah, that's awesome and stuff. But it's like, I've seen Love, Simon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Love, Simon did that for me. And I'm like,
Love, Simon made me cry like 10, however many years ago, 10 years ago that
2018.
was. Okay. So 8 years ago, like, yeah, like that was big for that time. But now, like, this is like an evolution of that by a lot. And not to throw a stray at Stranger Things, but that bullshit was ridiculous what they did.
It's
for a
like
coming out
we're gonna
scene.
put queer people on our show to just like piss the queer people off.
But
Like,
it's just
the
like
80s. Like, if you're gonna put a queer person in the show, you better have a fucking good reason.
right.
And have a
So
good
this was
payoff.
just mind you, I watched that episode right before I watched episode 6 of Heated Rivalry. So that was just like a whirlwind of going from the worst coming out scene I've ever seen in my life to probably the best one. It was.
Have you guys seen that? Like,
I was about to say I haven't seen the Stranger Things. I wasn't on the thing.
It's not. Don't worry about it.
People complaining about it.
What? Oh yeah. What made it so?
the gist is like the character came out to an entire room of people, like 12
The entire
people.
ensemble cast of like 20 people.
Like, yeah, like, and it's like people that like are a part of the crew, but it's not like they're friends with this guy or
There's
know
characters that this character who came out
Does
had
not
never
interact
interacted with throughout the 5 seasons of the show who were in the room.
Oh no!
Like, he was just talking to his mom, and then his boyfriend, I mean, his best friend came in, and then he's like, you know what? Actually, I need to come out to everybody right now. Like, get everybody. Everyone needs to hear
I
this.
was so mad. Anyway,
It was
we're not here to
so
talk about
weird.
Stranger Things. I don't.
And it was
care
on
about that.
Christmas. It ruined my Christmas. I'm like,
It was on Christmas.
it was on Christmas. I'm like, anyways.
And that's why I stayed up till very late for me to watch episode 6, as it came out 30 minutes after I finished Stranger Things, whatever episode that was. But yeah. Caleb, Davin, did you guys have any thoughts on the coming out scene or just coming out scenes in general throughout different media?
I'm not that well versed in coming out scenes, but I loved that one. Are you kidding? I was brought to tears seeing the mom like apologize for like
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't create a space where you felt okay to come out like that.
It hit.
God. So I mean, the characters, the writing, and I love it. I love it so much.
Caleb?
Yeah, I mean, I think you summarized it well, just in terms of, again, also like offering an alternative. I mean, yeah, I feel like we're all accustomed to the. I mean, I feel like, especially in Hollywood, like coming out is handled very like cookie cutter esque, where it's it's either used as like a point for tension where you need like drama between these two characters, whatever. But then you also get, where it's kind of just blindly affirming. So like you said, I think, it was just really powerful, the way that they discussed it. And I think even like the impact that it can have on people. I mean, even like you said, Alex, like that single-handedly like driving you to do that in your own life. I think, I don't know, just demonstrates, why it's needed. So
For sure.
No, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, that makes me so happy just because I know there's people out there who would go to incredible lengths to get an apology from a parent like that.
Yeah.
And I know they're crying, and I know there's people whose parents would react exactly like that, and I know they're crying.
I like the little detail of like, when they got back, when their dad walks into them at the cottage and they go back to, confront their parents about it.
Motherfucker drives away. What a bastard.
That was
What an animal. What a crazy maneuver.
drives like, isn't like their house like an hour or two away from the
I
cottage?
was
Like, he's
what?
just
He
driving away
left?
thinking about it. Like,
Bro, so I actually saw this. This was one thing where it was kind of weird, was this motherfucker drove 2 hours for a phone charger instead of just going to the goddamn store and buying a new one. My son's on this darkness retreat. Don't bother him.
I was under the impression they were like in the same neighborhood of like fancy houses along the lake. If it's like an hour, that's crazy. But
yeah, when they were driving there, Shane and Ilya, but either way, like, I respected. I loved how the dad did not like tell the mom what he saw.
yes,
He must have got home and like,
Just
"Hi."
the soldier 1,000-yard stare. He just opened the door.
What's wrong?
She
honey?
definitely knew
Nothing?
something was coming though. Like
because like looked surprised when she saw Shane and Ilya Rozanov, who she hates, walking up to her front door. Like she looked so surprised. Like, what's this
I'm
about?
curious. I want to look up the drive time right now between where they were and supposedly, because the parents live in Ottawa, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure this is like a multi-hour drive, which is crazy work.
That is.
They were supposed to meet back up at the cottage too afterwards when they all left. They were like, yeah,
that's why I thought they were just in the same like little.
Yeah, this is like a 3-hour drive.
3-hour drive.
In real life, in the story, I'm sure it's still a lot. Okay. They said it was 2 from the airport, but I will
say the final 2 episodes also, like I feel like that was also kind of what separated like episodes 1 and 2 from the final 2 is like the show got legitimately like funny at the end of it, where it, like even like the little bits. Yeah, the loon is hilarious. One of my personal favorite bits. Well, yeah, like when they're walking like to get in the car to go chase his dad, and Shane's like, maybe you should like ditch the Boston shirt or whatever, and Ilya's like, they don't know I play for Boston, and then just get in the car. Or even when they sit in the car and Shane's like, maybe you should stay in here, and Ilya just like,
look.
Ilya's like, what?
Are you serious? We just drove all this way. You want me to stay in the car? He wanted that damn pasta.
He's so cool. Oh my god, him fucking up the spaghetti. I've never related to a character more than Ilya Rozanov when he was fucking up that spaghetti. I'm like, oh my god, he's literally me. Like,
I love that all those little moments from the last few episodes are just like memed upon. Like my entire Twitter For You page is just like episode 5 and 6 memes and fan edits, and I love it.
I wonder, was that even in the script? Like, was that just something Connor Story thought of?
Connor's just like, fuck, like, I'm hungry. I'm just going to fuck up this spaghetti over here.
I don't know if it was from you, Caleb, or from someone else, but I heard that it was like the last day of filming, and he like obviously didn't need to like look all that good anymore. And he was like, fuck it, I'm just going to eat a shit ton of this pasta and go nuts.
And then the detail, the dad like taking the spaghetti, like, let me put this in the middle of the table since he might want some more.
Earlier in the show, Ilya's like, oh, is your dad boring? He just reads The New Yorker. Is that what it was? And then in episode 6, the dad has the Russian, what was it, vodka, liquor?
Vodka, yeah.
I don't know. And then Ilya glances over at Shane, and I think that's to imply, like, I thought you said your dad was boring. Like, that's what I've read it as.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's so funny.
So many moments like that. And I love Twitter because I didn't pick up on a lot of things too, and I've just seen people being like,
TikTok has. I sent Caleb my whole For You page on.
Oh my god, I have 50 notifications.
Like side by side cuts of those scenes being like shot for shot exactly the same. I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
this is incredible. This is absolute cinema.
The biggest like moment I had with that was the episode 4, like the club ending, where like I watched it with. Yeah, I watched it with DT for the first time.
It went right over my head when we were watching.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I didn't fully pick up on it either, but like when you go back and watch it, it's like you can see like intentionally like Shane's posse is placed. Ilya sees them, realizes like, oh, fuck. And then you see Ilya's teammate, the Boston dude, and Shane sees him. And then he's also like, oh, fuck. And yeah, I mean, just the entire sequence. We were just rewatching it like before hopping on here, but it was like, again, you realize like the intricate little details. I was telling DT, like that was when I realized like I didn't just like the show, but the show was like genuinely fucking really good. Was that like whole entire sequence.
Yeah, episode 4 also had the moment where Ilya seemed to like plot a thing to just have Shane stay with him, and he had to be very careful with his words, but then he let out calling him Shane instead of Hollander. And that was like too intimate for Shane at the moment, which I also love that. And I also love later on that they're so casually using their names, their first names. Really cute. But that whole sequence, episode 4, was really cute too. Because you can tell Ilya's trying so hard to just keep Shane there. He does not want him to leave. He just casually makes him a second tuna melt. You know, why? I could just make you a second one. Like,
just happens to have all the ingredients, his favorite fucking drinks in the fridge, all of it.
Speak of the drinks, Shane wants a damn ginger ale that whole episode, and no one has one except for Ilya.
I didn't notice that. Wait.
Yeah, I pointed that one out to DT. I was like, the whole fucking ginger ale thing, and drive-thru was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, like...
That's funny.
No, that part.
More people have ginger ales than that, by the way. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to find. I also appreciated it because I spent the first 2 episodes being like, please stay the night, please stay the night, please stay the night. And then they just didn't. And then Scott and Kip finally did. And I was like,
Okay, hold on. I know it was a running joke by the end of it. Why the fuck do they insist on having sex in front of open windows?
They love it.
They love not fucking having the curtains drawn. They're out there. I respect it.
Exhibitionism.
To be fair, with the apartments, like they're high up. I think that's different. And it was dark in their room.
I just appreciated the episode 6-bit.
When like in Scott's apartment, especially when they're like New York City, and then they show out the window and it's just like all these buildings that I recognize in Toronto. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where that is.
Oh my god. That's funny.
I'm trying to think of there was a moment in episode 2. I think it was one of the earlier episodes where it was like one of the apartments is like wide open, and I think Ilya had just won. Was it the championship or was it just MVP? Something like that.
Are you talking about the Vegas rooftop?
No,
that's episode 1. Are you talking the award ceremony or?
I think it was after that. I don't know, but Ilya had him come over and he had to sit in the chair and was like, Shane, touch yourself.
Oh yeah, that was Vegas.
That
was Vegas.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And
that was episode 2.
That one, like Ilya, like that was his prize. Like they were texting about that or whatever. And it was like, that was like the hookup I liked the least.
Oh my God.
And then I'm like, I was just like, oh, this is a little weird. And then Shane at the end is like, I'm going to go now. Like he was waiting for like a goodbye. And then he gets in the elevator and says, we didn't even kiss.
Yeah.
Like that also hit me. I was like, oh God. Yes.
Yeah, that really like upset me. Episode 3 with Scott and Kip was kind of a good palate cleanser after that too.
I loved that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for some domestication anyway. But the episode 2, like the we didn't kiss one actually hurt me because that was like one of the hotter scenes too, I felt like. But yeah, it was also like very one-sided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there before, just like, wow.
Well, and I think what happened there is because before that, Ilya was so locked in on winning the whole thing because he got that motivational speech from Svetlana being like, I think you can win it because this team's doing this team's doing that. Loves Svetlana, by the way.
I love all the girl best friends in that show.
Dude, yeah, Rose Landry, Svetlana.
Kip's best friend girl, whoever her name. Yeah.
Yeah.
That bitch.
Even Maria from the smoothie shop loved it.
Girl.
Please help. I was done. I loved that. So, because I spent the first 2 episodes being like, they don't have any friends. There's nothing interesting going on. And episode 3 was like, this is wonderful. All of Kip's friends are hilarious. I love them so much.
To quote one of Zack and I's favorite TikTokers, Tanner Tan 36, I think. He did like reviews of every episode, and he said the women in the show got all the shit done. Because they were the ones that were like, they were the ones that were like, "Hey, are you gay?
I think I'm gay.
I think you like Jane more than I do." And then in episode 3, it's like, you deserve sunshine too. All the women got all the shit done.
And I love that so much because Shane especially like needed that so bad. Like he was not going to tell anyone or even like admit to himself that he was gay until Rose is like, hey pal,
I have something to tell you.
She's so great. And he needed that so much. Like that.
And I'm glad they stayed friends.
Yes.
Yes. I really like her character.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I walked into episode 5 and being like I thought it was going to be a long drawn out thing. Like him and being with Rose.
Yeah. And then he's going to like break her heart.
Yeah. No, Shane. Yeah. Rose just fucking like walks in.
Just like,
you're gay. Let's be friends. And then Shane's like, hell yeah.
See, I'm glad they didn't drag that out.
Zach, you texted me.
Painful.
Zach, you texted me after you watched episode 5 or while you were watching it that you were concerned that they were going to have Shane and Rose get married.
Oh my God.
Even have a kid. Like you were freaking out.
You know, season 1 of Love Victor, Alex, like I was like, oh my God.
We're gonna pretend we're not gay for a minute. Yeah.
That, like, I'm glad it was only like half an episode. He had to like do that. Like maybe, I guess it was more than half an episode, but like it was it was starting to get a little bit painful, but it stopped like right before it got too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that scene too, it was a little like gruesome, but like Shane's like having sex with Rose, and then like, you know, I don't know if I should have said that out loud.
He's in the shower doing his business.
And then Ilya's in the shower like by himself, and they're like playing those moments together. I thought that was a really like artistic way of showing it.
Well, Caleb brought this up literally like an hour ago as we're rewatching it. Like, it's such a perfect, like, that whole club scene is like, here's what your life could be like when they're each with a woman looking at each other, and they're each going through their night or whatever on their own, realizing that this isn't what they want. And that's like such a huge, like, okay, now we don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
And then it all picks up.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I think that's part of like the added layer to the end of episode 4 is like, I feel like that's another kind of uniquely queer experience, but going through like that purge and just being like, yep, like, you know, I'm just gonna pretend like this doesn't fucking exist, like we're just gonna keep on chugging. And so yeah, like seeing Shane going through that, like Ilya, obviously I think they have it a little more where he's obviously like heartbroken that, you know, Shane's, you know, with Rose, whatever. But for Shane, yeah, like he's just so deep in it, and like you can tell he's not happy like he was when he was hooking up with Ilya, but you know, he's just doing it because it's what's normal. And even looping it back to like the coming out conversation, that was what I really liked about kind of Shane's side of that, where he was like, even he was like really apologetic of like, you know, I tried to make it work and I couldn't. And I thought that was also like really unique.
Yeah. And that's a very real thing too, just for gay people in general. Because I said I was bisexual for years before I was like, yeah, I'm actually gay. Because I'm like, oh, bisexual's not as bad. You know, I still like girls.
Girl, I had a week. I had a good week.
See, I was pansexual for like a year, and then I was bi, and then it wasn't until like, I don't know, 2019 that I was like, yeah, I'm actually gay.
Damn, girl, that's when we met.
I know. Like it took a long time.
Wow.
Caleb, you mentioned something about what Ilya was feeling with Shane, and going back to what I mentioned with episode 4, and he was trying to have Shane like stay there longer and not leave. In episode 6, Ilya says just like, hey, I like women. He does that same thing in episode 4. And I liked that parallel where it's like, I like girls. They're very sexy. I could have any girl I want, whatever he said. And both times Shane hated it. It's like, yeah. And like he wanted to kill him with his eyes. Like great acting by Hudson Williams. That eyes was great. But I love that in episode 6, that when Ilya finally gets to, yeah, Caleb just pulled up the picture. Perfect. But Ilya gets to finish his thought this time because he can see that Shane's pissed off. He's like, listen, I like girls, but I can't stop thinking about this slow fucking hockey player. I was like, yes, like that is yes. And I don't know if the word slow is supposed to be about like hockey or whatever, but I liked it in the sense like, you're being slow right now, honey. Like, like I don't know if that's how they're meant to use it. Because I was like let
you're
me
not
finish.
getting
Stop
what I'm putting down right now.
Stop jumping to a conclusion, honey. Like I can relate to Shane with that. I jump to conclusions and I overthink stuff. I get it. Like I relate to Shane a lot, but I love that Ilya got to get the whole thing out this time. Like, hey, yeah, I like girls, but I like you way more, and I wish they were you. It was really sweet.
Have any of you guys watched Shameless?
I have not.
Not really.
Okay, there's a hilarious parallel that was pointed out on Twitter, where there's another Svetlana in that show who is also named Svetlana, which is hilarious. But
oh, I saw. Okay, I did see that.
Great show, by the way.
I didn't get the reference, but I was like, I wonder what that's about.
Oh, Don't Marry Svetlana. I think I've seen that.
Yeah,
because there's another gay couple in that one, in that show, and one of them there's a Svetlana. Anyway,
which speak of that, I do like that Shane kept thinking about, because Ilya was like, oh, I could marry Svetlana, and Shane stays up all night thinking of a plan 5 years into the future. Zach, you can attest to this. I think way too far ahead in the future. I'm planning stuff out. I'm like, what if we do this? And then I'm just like planning stuff. And Shane was doing that same thing. And I love how patient Ilya was with him. Like, yeah, he just woke up. He's like, narrative, what does that mean?
Woken up in the middle of the night, just being like, here's our 5-year plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
I think that was the first time Ilya said, I love you. Ilya was the first one to say, I love you to him. And I'm like, I'm about to start crying watching that.
I already was. Are you kidding me? That whole scene,
I didn't expect it to happen. I was like, what? Oh my God. It was great. I was just like, he just overthought and planned this whole thing out. And then you throw I love you at him. It's like, wow. Like he had so much anxiety. He took what you said so literally because of the autism. And then you say, I love you. It's like, oh, like we're being direct and you're very personal about it. Like, I love that.
That's what he asked for at the start of the cottage week, where he was like, let's be honest.
That's true. Yeah.
He wanted him to say it. I know Shane never would say it first, but he wanted it real bad.
Yeah, no, the episode 6, I mean, so just in general, like I have not been on an emotional roller coaster like that. And like
we watched it together on Discord and it was incredible. It was so much fun.
there were like 4 separate moments that like separately got me fucking going, where it was like,
yeah,
I think the first one was when Ilya said I love you. And like I fucking started like I was ugly crying
really.
Yeah,
literally same.
Wow.
And then shit,
and then they hit you with the morning after and they're sitting on the rock in the sunrise and everything's beautiful. And I was
episode
like,
6 was like fan service in a way.
I love it. I love it.
It was like comfort episode. Like the only conflict was like the coming out at the end, it felt like.
And it was still beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
It was very Life is Strange, if anyone's familiar.
Oh yeah.
I got so many vibes from that. Good.
No, and then like the parallel of another thing I thought was so good, and thank God for my Twitter analysts who got me covered. But yeah, so at the press conference in episode 2, when you first see them like touching feet under the table, is like Ilya he like can't speak English very well, so Shane is like speaking up for him at this press conference type of thing, and then that role is completely flipped on its head, where Shane is just so overwhelmed by his parents. God. Shane being overwhelmed by his parents, like completely shut down, and Ilya is like, hey, like I'm here, like both of them showing that support through each other and having that parallel was like, fuck. So that got me going to the whole coming out thing. And then there was something else even at the end where I was just like, fuck.
You get this them driving at the very end, like as the credits roll.
Oh, so good. Something that did make me actually start crying was when Ilya was comforting Shane. Like Shane put his head down on the table and just clearly overwhelmed. He's like, I'll be okay in a second. And Ilya's like, hey, your family's here and your boyfriend's here. And then he gave him a kiss. Like, that's when I started crying. Like, oh my God, you are vulnerable enough to say this in front of other people too. Loved it. Like that actually made me start crying for sure.
What about you, Zach? You're quiet over there about where you were crying. Where were you crying?
I wasn't crying. I'm on medication. I don't cry no more. I literally cannot cry. Like
I cut that part of my brain out.
No.
You said your eyes were watering quite a bit though.
Yeah.
When you were texting me.
That's a little bit of a dramatic way of saying it. I don't know. I didn't get too emotional. Well, honestly, I was actually really uncomfortable watching the show at points too, because I don't know. I need to see a therapist. So just like me and just like romance and like men, like I've just had a history, and just sometimes it's just I'm not reliving anything, but I'm just like Heartstopper. I'm jealous, right? When I watched Heartstopper, Heated Rivalry, I couldn't figure out what feeling I was getting, because I wasn't getting jealous like I normally would with like Heartstopper, but there was still some kind of like feeling. I was like, maybe it was just emptiness of like, I don't know, something was going on there. But that's something that my therapist needs to hear, I guess. And I don't have a therapist, so GRP audience is good enough.
Girl, my therapist heard about this before the show was over, and then her and I queened out about it for 30 minutes.
Queened out of it.
So
I love that.
I highly recommend, even if you just got to queen out with a therapist about
I
it.
just got to queen out with my therapist a little bit. Like, hey, bitch, have you seen Heated Rivalry? Oh my god. A bunch of coworkers today were talking about like shows that they watched over break, and I'm just sitting there like, I ain't gonna say anything. I'm not saying what show I was watching, because they're a bunch of like, you know, older middle-aged women.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're that.
These things happen.
Well, the women love this show apparently.
Women love this show.
Which I get why. Some people are like, oh, they're fetishizing men. I'm like, girl, no. I get it. Let them have it. Let them have it.
It makes me proud as a Canadian to see Canadian media like that. Like, just
You funded this, Davin. Your taxes.
it's true. My tax
this.
dollars.
That's true.
Paid to
Thank you,
put this
Davin.
show on your screen.
I brought this up, Alex. You might have seen this on private. Like, I'm like, all of the good queer shows are not American made.
Yeah, wonder why. And
Not
the
that
one
there's
that
that
is
many of
Stranger
them.
Things had the worst thing ever. So
Like Love Simon and Love Victor were like great and all in their own ways, but like Heartstopper being, you know,
UK.
yeah, UK, and then this being Canada. I'm just like, It just like
Young Royals was UK too, right?
and then Young Royals was like Swiss. No,
Okay.
something.
It wasn't
Europe.
US. I know that.
I forgot what language they speak. It's not Swiss. I don't remember. But anyways,
Yeah.
It just made me like get these feelings like it's almost like being gay is taboo again in like this media space in a way.
And that's why I think it's amazing that this is blown up in the way it has. Like,
Well,
it's
yeah,
really
so
taken over the culture, and now both the actors are going to be on the big late night shows doing interviews.
Yeah,
It's
I saw
like-
that.
Which, by the way, Connor Story and Hudson Williams both had like 1,000 or so followers on Instagram in
They were
September,
tiny.
and now they
Yeah.
both have over 1 million. Like, I don't know. I hope they're okay handling this newfound like fame, but yeah,
And
it's crazy.
I think that's what like I'm left with the most is like DT kind of touched on it a little bit, but seeing that like the show's popularity is there's like an entire influx of new fans into the NHL right now. Like I know I have like coworkers that I have watched this show with that are like, let's go hit up a Preds game. Like, let's fucking go. And I'm like, dude, like we're so there. But yeah, I mean, just not only that, but yeah, like giving queer people a space, you know, a new space within hockey where they, you know, feel represented and feel safe, I think is super important. You know, and I just think it's really cool that, you know, a show, I don't know, has had the effect that it has and can have the effect going forward, especially when, you know, when you consider, you know, current events and how everything is going, like how important finding those safe spaces and places to be is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, I'm so happy for hockey. Like hockey needed something like this so badly. And I think like racing and hockey are actually surprisingly similar in terms of culture, where they're both like
I wouldn't
really-
have guessed that.
really high like barrier of entry sports.
Really?
Like the hockey is
Well, I guess
incredibly
hockey because like
expensive.
you need access to. Now that I think about it, like
the most equipment of like any sport.
like
and
I don't think
ice
there's an
time.
ice rink near me where I live.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, for
And
hockey,
Because of that, it's like such a like rich white
yeah, it's a white man
dominated sport historically,
NASCAR.
which is like exactly like racing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense now that you say that. Then, but I always because most of the time I think about the NHL. I know NHL don't they have like Pride nights, or is that just some teams?
There were a lot of Pride nights, and then a lot of people were mad about it because God fucking forbid we have
God
rainbows
forbid.
on our hockey sticks.
Yeah.
And the league was like, because a lot of people were like, they shouldn't wear special jerseys or do special things for whatever. And the league said, okay, you're not allowed to wear special jerseys anymore. And everyone's like,
Oh, it's like the F1 rules, even though that's not a thing anymore. Like you know, like you have to have the same thing the whole year.
and like
Same
the
kid
league
files.
pushed back on it, which is like really embarrassing.
That's bad. That's not good.
And like some of the teams are doing their own. but it's like still like a really minor thing, and like definitely not all the players are participating. Like there's I could probably count the number of players that have put like a rainbow tape on their stick like on one hand this season. Which
a few years ago, it was quite a few, though, right?
It was a whole thing, yeah. And then it became uncool, especially in the U.S. with how things are going.
It's kind of like what happened in the U.S. just in general. It's like, well, I mean, there was always homophobes, but they got empowered because of who was put in power, and then it's like, let's go backwards for a few years now.
And it falls out of fashion, which is crazy.
Yes, which like I guess it's natural for anything. Like the rubber band's going to snap back to an extent, but I don't know if that should happen with like queer existence. I don't know if that's something where that the rubber band should snap back, but that's just how I see it. Like, of course it's going to happen. That doesn't mean it should happen.
But there's a lot of fun stuff going on now. I saw on Twitter that the Calgary Flames just did their Pride Night, and they're playing a bunch of like Heated Rivalry songs in between the plays on the ice, which I thought was
my gosh.
Oh, that's actually awesome. I see people going like kiss to the players like during breaks.
It's like a little bit cringe. There's a certain level of like it's okay versus it's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Like, I'll make jokes like we need a gay driver or whatever. We need so and so driver to kiss or whatever. But like, I wouldn't go to a race.
Yeah, that's just our text messages.
Yeah, our text messages, we can do that. I wouldn't do that to their face. Like, I feel like that's a bit invasive, especially if it's like someone who's like not out, or it's like highly suspected they're out, perhaps. Like, that would just be a lot to do in person, Davin, you brought up the music. The soundtrack for this show is incredible. And my Spotify Wrapped, that thing next year might have Feist. It might have all these bands that I'd never heard of. Wet Leg is currently my number one artist for this year. I can tell you that. 1000%.
We just went through the album last night.
Oh, I've been all over Wet Leg. I think number 2 album of this year was the Wet Leg one. I have been all over it. Hearing the start of episode 2, as much shit as I talk about episode 1 and 2, melted my heart. I was like, damn, they know ball, because it's not even like Canadian music.
Yeah,
it's very, I don't know, it's like kind of Canadian in spirit. But they, like, with the budget they had to get the soundtrack they did, and to get Carly Rae Jepsen for season 2.
I'm so excited for that. I hope that actually happens. The soundtrack has just been so on repeat for me the past month.
If it's not been in my headphones, it's been in my head just going over.
I think my favorite song is My Moon, My Man by Feist. I think that song is so good. I think it's episode 4, start of that one. Really, really good. And I hope for season 2, I guess we can kind of talk about what we want for season 2. I know there's a book. People know what's going to happen, but I have not read the books and have tried to avoid what people are talking about.
I hate situations like that. I'm like, girl, don't spoil it.
It's like,
first of all, I hope the budget stays the same, because if they were able to do what they did here with such a smaller budget, like, don't change anything. Like, pay the actors more if you're able to with the contracts. Yeah. But beyond that, like, the soundtrack they nailed it. I don't need Rihanna. I don't need Miley Cyrus. Apparently, they asked Miley Cyrus, would you put a song on this show? It's like, I don't need a Miley Cyrus song.
It kind of ruins the charm in a way.
Yeah.
I think Carly Rae Jepsen, like, that's a little bit different. But
Carly Rae Jepsen's Canadian, and she's not a major artist, and she's also a gay icon.
She's a gay icon. Like, that's fine. But like putting like just some TikTok songs in would like be really cringe or something.
I saw an interview with Tierney. So yeah, because everybody's like, well, the show's blown up, so like there's going to be more like people that are all over it, more money that's able to flow in. But Tierney is actually saying the contrary, where it was like a lot of people are seeing the success of the show on the budget that it had in season 1, and the expectation is like, just go do it again. So there's not
that, man. Thank God.
Yeah, there's not like a ton of new inflow of money going into it. So
there's some pride in that, in it being like a tiny production that was just like managed incredibly well. Valentina, who did all the breakdowns on TikTok, had a great one about like how smartly it was shot. where they don't have a billion extras and they don't have it like overlit.
Gosh,
I didn't really notice.
like the press conference or
They didn't have any
Hunter's
like
speech.
reporters there.
Like,
There were a
there
few
was-
things that I genuinely noticed, like when they were going, when Shane was out with his teammate, and they're just pushing
aquarium?
a stroller with no baby in it, and I was like,
the aquarium's the
First of all,
one
it's so weird.
scene where I'm like, this is a little not great, but it's not bad. Not
But
bad
even,
by any means.
I guess the crowd being CGI like isn't very cool, but
At
it
least it
makes
ain't
sense.
AI. Like it could have
was
been
what?
AI.
No, it was CGI.
It looked good. I looked closely. at
I'm just
rewatch.
saying, at least they didn't use AI.
That's true.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But shooting on a volume too for the Las Vegas rooftop, where like that's just a big ass TV screen and they're just like on a fake balcony in front of it, or
the
beach.
sunset
The
in
sunset?
episode 5, like that
I
was
could
a
tell,
screen.
But it looked great.
It looked great.
It still looked really good.
And I actually thought the cottage was like a set, but it turns out that's an actual.
No, they just
Like
went to some
house that
rich
was
ass
built.
Muskoka cottage.
I could tell. Yeah, I could tell it was an actual house.
Like I was shocked. Like I saw like the company who built it popped up on my Instagram feed. I was like, oh my god, it's real.
That's every rich Canadian has a big ass cottage like that
Wow.
in that area. I do appreciate that they put some money into locations like that, and like the nice apartments and stuff, and the fake Russian hall where they did the whole thing. Like that was nice.
Because none of us have read the books, right?
I know people that have, but I
don't read.
Okay. So
Yeah, okay.
we don't know what's going to happen, but what would we like to see in season 2, like plot wise or just in general?
Well, obviously, season 2 is going to be about like I assume they're going to come out at some point, and like the trials and tribulations with that, kind of like in Heartstopper. Wait a minute, this is just Heartstopper. It's like first season one's about them falling in love. Season 2 is going to be about them coming out, right? Surely.
I mean,
I've seen this
Surely.
before.
Yuna's on the phone. She's going to try.
Yuna's on the phone.
We're having
I think
Pride
Rolex
Night.
would love this, actually. Like
Shane, you're going to be a guest
It
judge
took
on
her-
RuPaul's Drag Race.
It took her 3 minutes for her to go like, I actually think the brands would love this. Like,
I love
Yeah.
that.
She was like, we have a PR statement put together. If you guys leak, like we got all this stuff going.
He's not loyal to Boston.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think there's so many interesting directions they could go. Specifically like with coming out, like I think it would be really interesting because I think we're at that spot because canonically we're 2017 right now,
2018.
somewhere.
girl, don't ask me.
Number 18.
Oh,
So for me, like I would be really curious to see like the fallout. Oh,
Bye, Alex. One less gay person on the show. Thank God.
all right.
He's going to
Alex
the
is
cottage.
Oh, he back. Sorry, we're good.
gone.
Zach has joined. Whatever.
Why does it say Zach?
I don't
Why
know.
does it say
Hi,
you're
Zach.
Zach?
I didn't leave.
Hi, Zach.
Double
New
Zack.
Zack.
mode.
He is.
I don't know.
He does
it
have glasses on.
froze. Anyway,
These things happen.
put everyone back.
But no,
where they were.
no. So yeah, like right in 2018, like it's about to be time for the Olympics. So like I would be really interested to see like if.
Wow.
Well, I know
Wow.
they were banned in
It's
real life,
realistic. They
but
wouldn't
no,
do
I know they were banned in real life, but seeing like for example, if despite being the best player in the world, if like Russia would leave Ilya Rozanov off the Olympic team or something like that
Wow.
because he was.
Or he's not allowed to play for Russia in the Olympics because it's Russia.
Where was 2018? Was it in Russia in 2018 or was it Korea, South Korea? I don't remember.
It was
Russia.
in South Korea.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But the Russians weren't allowed to compete, and NHL
Right.
players weren't allowed to compete. But
Yeah.
maybe Major
really?
League hockey players were.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
hockey
that's actually they just added that back this year. So this year's Winter
really?
Olympics are the first one where NHL players are allowed to be in it again. So everybody's like,
Wow.
"Holy fuck!" Like the Olympics
Since
are back.
the Shane and Ilya Winter Olympics, the ones they were in, basically.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool. Huh.
I think that'd be a fun story bit where he, gets.
Yeah, like left off the like Russia just completely disowns it. Which I mean, he alluded to that where they have that conversation where he's
Oh,
like,
that
"I couldn't
might
go back
be-
to Russia," and
That'd be interesting.
So yeah, I mean, but
Actually, if they
even
come out, I imagine he'll receive a lot of.
Well, in
Yeah.
the 6th episode, Ilya talks about going to a different team, another Canadian team,
Ottawa.
and I wonder if that won't be a focal point. Like I don't know how. Like is that
Like if he
That would
goes
be
there and doesn't
interesting.
gel with them, or if there's like another
Yeah.
captain who like suddenly he's not the top dog anymore.
Well, I would also
Isn't
be
it
interested
washed,
too,
yeah.
even at like the fan backlash. So like for example, if they come out and it's like the Boston fans are just absolutely, you know, pissed or whatever because their captain like left them and he's getting, you know, a bunch of shit for that. Or even like thinking back to last season, like people putting dots together of like, oh, like we lost Hollander for a playoff run because he looked back at his fucking boyfriend in the middle of the neutral zone, got fucking destroyed.
That's the
Can
one
you hockey fans like
team-
explain like how stupid that looked,
that's literally
or like a racing comparison? Like,
it's like a NASCAR driver like looking over at his boyfriend and just not turning for a corner and just driving straight into the fence. Like that's just not,
Imagine, imagine
completely forgot about the game.
Yeah, the NASCAR drivers are dating. They're in the middle, 3 wide at Talladega. They look at each other and then just cause the fucking big one.
Oh my God.
Just in levels of stupid. But no,
I that got a good laugh out of me. It was really fucking funny.
Well, the way that
He just
Ilya's
turns around
face
and
drops
like,
too, yeah, like Ilya's like smiling. He's like, "Oh fuck," and then just bang.
where have we seen that where it's like another driver like was like really like where it's just one specific driver was really worried about another driver, not like the whole field like during a bad accident. I'm trying to think of something. Next time it happens, I'm like, oh, so that's your boyfriend. Fellas, is it showing the sympathy gay?
Because they're worried about getting wrecked or something. Who was that? Was that Harvick and Chase Elliott?
Who?
think so,
We know they
back
were
in the day.
boyfriends after Bristol that one night. They went to the hauler.
Didn't they go to the Roval after and one of them got scared and like wrecked himself?
Yeah. Harvick wrecked himself, I think.
He pulled
I think- I think for season 2, I would just like to see more of the sweet moments now that they're like totally comfortable with each other and they know what they are. I'd like to see that continue. Like I'm hoping they don't like break up. So I hate when shows do that.
Yeah.
They might. I feel like if they broke up, those
Well,
like
they're gonna
every
have a
show
fight.
does this.
Come on,
they're gonna
yeah,
have a fight.
They're gonna have a fight. They're gonna have a fight.
They'll have a fight. And
You know,
that's
I've seen enough queer shows.
I just don't want them to be like, "Ugh, I'm gonna go date another guy. And it's just like, ugh. Like you know, the guy on Shane's team with like a million kids, Hayden. Like
Hayden
imagine
Pike,
Shane's like, Hayden, what if we tried dating? I know you have a wife and everything. It's like, ugh, no, I don't want that. Which, by the way, I hope he's an ally. I think he will be. He seems very sweet. Like, we'll see.
I do appreciate
I can see them saying insensitive things, like just on
Oh,
accident. Because
I think everyone's been an ally so far. Even the one guy who like said the figure skater line, he just didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah.
It was just
I feel
weird.
like Canadians were portrayed very well in that show.
Little did that guy know he was with 2 gays.
He was
so
Yeah.
funny.
Well, that,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
no,
Funny.
when they went back to it, that scene is so funny because in the moment we're like that's funny that he's saying that to Shane, but yeah, then fucking Scott, you find out about him too. This straight dude's just like scary being gay in this country, eh, boys? And then like both of them are just having like existential crises. Like fuck.
He's not wrong, but like,
Yeah. Like I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Well, and that really
You
got
didn't have
Shane
to
thinking about
say
how
it.
Russia is like that. Yeah. Which, by the way, I loved how in episode. Sorry, Davin. I love how in episode 3, when they cut back to that scene to go with Scott, they play the song that turns out to be the song from episode 5.
yeah. So I didn't realize that until I
so good.
rewatched it.
Yeah.
And when they introduce Scott, they play "I'll Believe in Anything" when he's running around New York City, like the pre title screen.
Yep.
And then they obviously that hits completely, which I didn't realize. Like in the song, the lyrics are talking about like "You're my sunshine," and then
Yep.
Elena said that they deserve
That-
sunshine. And they got
That didn't hit for me until I like watched episode 5 the second time. I was like, oh my God, the
same.
lyrics.
today, and I was like, wow.
And Kip's friend, I'm blanking on her name right now. She's like, you deserve sunshine. And that's exactly what the lyrics say. Oh, it's so cool.
The first time we watched that scene, I didn't cry because I was just like, do it, go to the ice, please. Yes. But like today I actually teared up a little bit because I was like, damn, Like,
Imagine the front
especially after
stretch
episode
interview in
3.
NASCAR, and there's a fan taking his sweet old time getting down to the track.
He
Takes
did
like
take his
20
sweet
minutes.
time.
They're gonna start throwing beer
Climb
cans
over
at
the
him.
thing.
Stop. God. Yeah, don't do that at NASCAR race. You're gonna get beer cans thrown at you.
You know what the reverse
Don't do it
should
at
be?
Talladega.
Do what Joseph Newgarden did at the Indy 500.
Oh, run into the
and
stands.
run into
Run
the
to the
stands and go kiss a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Anyone.
do that.
Just anyone.
It's just
Me.
the first guy you
I'll
see.
do
We need front row tickets, Alex, at the next Indy 500.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Any other thoughts? We can start wrapping up if we'd like. Any other thoughts we have on our minds here?
Nothing specific. Just it was a really well show. Like I've been watching more TV lately. I've just, I was off work for a few weeks. Like it's just, I never broke immersion from it, I guess. Like it was just really well put together.
I'd say my biggest thought is just how this wave of momentum gets pushed forward, because obviously like right now it's super popular, it's like everybody's talking about it, but how are we going to kind of revisit it in 6 months? And like I was kind of saying earlier, I'm just more interested at the potential of lasting change that can come as a result of it. So again, trying to capitalize on the momentum of right now, and again, just what it looks like going forward, if this is just a flash in the pan fad for hockey as a whole, or if this actually does change things.
I really do hope they take their time writing it, which Jacob Tierney said he would. He said it would be like 2027 at least by the time they get a season 2 out, just because it's not.
Well, yeah.
And I hope they don't pull a Last of Us season 2 where it's just like not good. I also want to touch. I appreciate the autistic Wasian representation from Hudson Williams and Shane Hollander. Great, I love it. Great character.
Love it.
Huge fan.
The autism was portrayed really well. Like I need to rewatch it because again, I didn't know Shane was autistic until I finished the series, and then I'm thinking about like, oh my god, because at first I thought he was just emotionally reserved, but then I was just like, oh, that's just how he is.
Yeah,
but then I'm like, oh my god, he has autism.
Yeah, I was like, this guy just doesn't pick up on any social cues. Like, come on, buddy. Like, what are we doing? And then, like, the more you go through the season, they're like, oh, okay.
Well, as someone who like, I think I'm
That's
on the
how it
spectrum
is.
myself. I'm just like, oh, I'm also not catching this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
And see, I don't know if I am, but man, he did so many things. I'm like, oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like cooking all those damn burgers. I've done that.
I literally do that. I literally open the whole pack and just rip 8.
I know damn well I've done that with Zack before. It's like I'm making food and he was like, why'd you make so much? And I'm like, well, this is what I had. And
So-
he's like, why didn't you just make enough for 2 of us? I remember that.
I completely forgot about that. That was one of my favorite moments of me and DT watching through the show is they cut to the scene and it was like the first thing I noticed. I was like, why does he have 8 burgers on the like? Why does he have so many burgers on the grill?
Ilya walks in and is going, why are you cooking so many burgers?
And we're like, yeah, we're like, whoa.
I love when a character brings up something that you bring up in real life. Like,
Like, why does he have so many fucking burgers?
that's funny.
Watching back through the show, like I sympathize a lot with Mr. Hollander and his inability to communicate. It just makes me like all the happier when he gets treated well by people like Rose. I love it.
Yeah.
That's another thing about this show. It wasn't like Heartstopper levels of like, oh, this is so cute. Because like Heartstopper at points, I'm like, this is disgusting. This is too cute. I'm too jealous. But there was enough conflict without it like, I don't know, dragging you through the mud and like watching you watch something horrible. Like it was just a perfect amount of conflict and just sweet moments for me.
I don't
the best
like
queer show I've
shows like that where it's just fucking
gay
drama
people?
for the sake of drama. Well, yeah, the gay people too can turn me off sometimes.
Well, so many of them are just like, I don't not cringe. I'm just like, I've seen it before.
The show that comes to mind for me like that, where it's just shit goes wrong for the sake of going wrong, is like Euphoria was like that a lot. Where dude, I was like, you just fucking like just characters just get shot in the face, and you're just like, what am I even doing here?
Yeah, Heated Rivalry was very real. I loved it.
Yeah, it was
Very grounded.
Very, very much exceeded my expectations. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I mean, I guess with that, you guys, we can wrap up, Davin, Caleb, do you guys want to let our listeners know where they can follow you guys at?
Just the listed thing. I can get it right there.
At drive-through underscore and at Caleb H92. What were you going to say, Caleb?
I was just going to say, like you introduced us, we do a podcast. Please never watch it. Don't look it up or engage with it whatsoever.
If you just listen to a Heated Rivalry episode, you're probably age appropriate enough to watch Shrimp Hours.
That is true.
It's just
not that you should, but
yeah, if you come to Heated Rivalry for the like cute, wholesome moments, like don't turn on our fucking show. It's just
garbage. It's
unhinged mania the entire time.
We did rate our paint schemes in an episode. That's out by the time this is out.
It's true.
We care about racing like that.
And well, Zach and I, we do the Gay Racing Podcast, which is the show you're watching right now. And we talk about racing every week, NASCAR, IndyCar. And we're gay. And I don't think there's any other gay people.
Where else are we going to see gay people talk about racing?
For real.
Like the jokes, I don't have a specific example, but the jokes that we can make about racing that like I feel like no one else can make.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have an example.
I mean, watch our old episodes. Like, there's plenty of them.
Like we said, Pocono is trans. Like, she's trans.
She's different.
She's a triangle. She's different.
Yeah.
People hate Pocono because she's different. Like, God, she's a damn triangle.
You can follow the podcast at Gay Racing Pod, myself at New Gaiden on all the socials, and Zach at Dreamy Zach Racing. And we'll be probably having like predictions for the NASCAR season coming up pretty soon. I don't know when. Then we'll talk about
IMSA, whatever.
The Rolex 24, the Daytona 500. So if you're into racing, stick around and we'll talk about all those.
Hope you guys don't want to know how the champion is decided yet. Like 40 days from the season.
Again, welcome to the circus. And
we'll probably talk about that whenever that drops. So
it's gonna be like it's like the Rolex. I know this is off topic. It's like the Rolex 24, one of the greatest events of the year, and then it's just like Bowman Gray championship format, Daytona 500, then Atlanta again. Well, Atlanta's good, but still, it's like, oh my god, like why do I like NASCAR? Anyways, we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much, Davin and Caleb, for joining us today, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.